Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube. It is your girl Honey. Welcome back people, welcome back, and those of you who are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Honey and today we are talking all about the Virgo moons. You guys have been harassing me in the comments, yeah, every week. Where's Virgo moon? Where's the Virgo? And I'm like, okay, I heard you. The plan was to actually do Aquarius moon next, but Virgo moons have been going hard at me about this. So here we are, we're doing Virgo moon today. Here we are, I've been bullied into doing it. Here we are. Oh yes, and how can I not plug in my website, honeysastro.com, to find my podcast, to find my services, to find my documents, to find any merch. And also make sure you guys are checking the pinned comment or the bio description to find the timestamp. Should you wish to fast forward somewhere, I've got you covered, Alright, so let's just dive straight on into what we're talking about today, the Virgo moon. The moon is the emotional fulfillment, foundation, home, security, roots, your emotions, where you come from, your background. Virgo is an association with the 6th house and it's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is your communication, it's processing information, but in reference to Virgo, Mercury is everyday, it's service work, it's analyzing, researching. When you have a mercurial moon, it's not the most comfortable place for the moon, not gonna lie. But we are gonna be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly aspects, and if you can't handle that, exit left, please. Keep it moving, people. So I do like to put these in categories so it's easier for you guys to find through the timestamp. So people, we are going to be talking about the background, the parents in reference to being given a Virgo moon. Usually the environment that you were raised in, you may have had to help your parents a lot. In the UK, right, there's this running joke, if you are from Africa, if you are Caribbean, your grandparents, even your mum, yeah, would have been going to the market and buying her plantain, her yam, green banana, and she would have had this big trolley. I will literally put the picture on the screen. But she had this big trolley and you would have to go to the market with this ugly ass trolley and collect your shopping. Whenever I see that trolley, I think about Virgo moon, because you're having to go out there and do service work as a child from a young age, doing things for your parents from a young age, carrying mummy shopping, going shopping with her, doing all of her errands with her, you know, always having to kind of be there with her. And it's mad because a lot of Virgo moons come from a mum who was very productive. Like, productivity could be in reference to what you do for work. So it could literally be your mum might work in a care home, your mum might work in a store, but she goes to work every day. There's no days off. There's no time to just spend time just with you know, do an activity. It's just productivity. What's productive? What's gonna make me money? What's gonna pay my bills? I've got to go to work. So mum would have always also encouraged you to have that same sort of character traits as well, where you are constantly doing something productive. Whenever I think about Virgo moon, I think about that child whose mum is like, what does that say? Spell that for me. How do you spell this word? What does that say? Read that for me. Just a parent who's making them be productive even on a day out somewhere, making them read things. Everything is a learning experience for them. Being very helpful in your younger years, and you having to be helpful almost opens a door for criticism. Mummy, why do you carry the baskets like that? Carry it like this. Mummy, why do you have to carry 5 bags? Just carry 3 like this. You know, like lots of noticing little details where you can help mum a little bit more to make her life easier. Not saying Virgo moon mums struggle a lot, but you grow up and you witness the little things that she could have done to make her life a little bit easier. Now also, because this is Virgo energy, like wherever Virgo is in your chart, we all have it somewhere. Virgo is going to be an indication where we are going to feel a little bit insecure, where we may experience rejection as well. And rejection in the moon is something that starts from your childhood. So imagine being born and your parents kind of expected you to be a bit slimmer, or they had this expectation of you being this tall model and you're short and stumpy, or they have this expectation of you being the next LeBron James. I don't know, just anything, but you hate sports. Because of you not doing what they expect you to do, you are criticized, and you continuously hear it over and over and over again throughout your life. It's like feeling like, damn, have I disappointed my parents? And because I'm not LeBron James, I'm not into sports or basketball or football, have I disappointed them? What have I done? And it's important as well, you must look at the condition of your moon, the condition of your sun, the aspects to your 4th house cusp, your ascendant, your 10th house. Those are also indicators as to who is going to make you feel that sense of rejection. And it can be mum or it can be dad, but you experience that feeling very, very young, even in reference to like your dad not being around. And it's like, well, you know, is he not around because I'm not perfect? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, what did I do? And every time I think about Virgo energy, I am brought back to, I'm not sure if you guys watched the Real Housewives of Potomac, but there's a housewife on there called Ashley, and I think it was maybe 2 seasons or 3 seasons ago, where she was searching for her dad. Her mum is a drug addict, we'll get into drugs as well with the Virgo moon. But her mum was a drug addict and her dad chose not to be in her life. And when you look at her, she oozes somebody who's good at everything. She has this, she's very lucky, she married a very rich man, you know, she's got a very nice life and she's always very happy, but she happens to be a Gemini sun. I have no idea what her rising, what her moon or what anything else is, but she oozes that Virgo energy about her. She was saying in therapy, because she'd done some therapy on the show, and she was like, damn, like, I ooze to be perfect because my dad never wanted me, or he's never wanted to get to know me. Even now as an adult, he still does not want anything to do with me. And that deep feeling of rejection, it makes you reflect and think, damn, if my dad doesn't want me, who's gonna want me? What's wrong with me? What did I do? So there's always that feeling of I'm not good enough. So the insecurity comes into play. And when you think about this being a moon placement, you learn to be whatever perfect means to you. Perfection could be, I've got to be really good in school, I've got to be really intelligent, I've got to get all A+, I've got to have the best career, the best job. So you learn to be very productive over time, but you also know that there's areas that you can be a better person. So that's where you see yourself can I say overdoing it? It's not really overdoing it, but there can be a sense of overcompensating because there is that void elsewhere. Now, these people do experience love, right, in their childhood, but it's not always seen as like, oh, lots of hugs and kisses and cuddles. Oh my God, I'm so obsessed with you. I love you. You don't always see that for Virgo moons. Their parents may express love by acts of service, having to do things around the house. Like your mum could have made your bed every day, and although she may not say I love you, that could be a form of her displaying her love for you. Like, you don't always hear that. She might she might do things that indirectly display love, and that also creates this learned behavior of how you're going to express love in your relationships as well. Now, because when you think about Virgo energy in general and how you understand the expression of a sign in a planet, is you have to apply that sign on like an ascendant in the 1st house. So if Virgo was the rising, that would then place Leo as the 12th house ruler. Leo is all about self-expression, you know, it's all about being validated through other people, like me, people like me. So when it comes to how they express themselves, which can be their sense of creativity, their talents, they are extremely good. They're so good at whatever it is that they do because they work fucking hard. They have put the perfection into a skill. These people are the engineers. Without the engine, a car can't drive. A car can't do what it needs to do without the engine running. These people understand the mechanisms that go into making the engine run and to making the car drive perfectly. And that's why these people are notorious for experiencing other people get credit for their hard work or they get very frustrated when their hard work isn't recognized by others. It's not like, oh, look at me, hey, everybody, I'm this kind of person. It's more of a thing where look at how much work I've put into this mechanism, you know, but they are extremely humble with their creativity, whatever they choose to be creative in. All they ask for is just I can see you put a lot of work into this. But because again Leo sits in that 12th house, they don't always like to project that skill into the outside world. It's like how they cope a lot is by having a skill that they do behind the scenes, behind closed doors. In reference to their career, these people do very well because they are going to always feel emotionally fulfilled by doing something that's productive. And again, whether that be working in a store, whether that be working in as a consultant in a top company somewhere, they like that feeling of I'm doing something for someone, I'm helping this company to go from here to here, I am being of service. But they don't like things that are superficial and trending. They put a lot of graft into their work. Let me give you 3 examples, and we can look at Beyonce. She is a Virgo sun, but she is perfection when it comes to her craft. There is not a lot of performances I've seen of Beyonce where she's just fucked up. Even if she does, she comes back so quickly and rectifies it, which is typical Virgo energy. You have Michael Jackson, obviously, again, another Virgo, right? Michael Jackson has perfected all of his performances. His voice is absolutely immaculate. And then you also have Nicki Minaj, who is a Virgo moon. And when you think about Nicki Minaj, how precise she is when she's rapping, and how she's, especially now, a lot of people feel like she hasn't got a lot of appreciation or got her flowers. I think she's got her flowers, right? But when it comes to her, she is analyzing every single rapper out there, and she knows that nobody is like her because she has perfected her craft to the T. A perfectionist. And you know what, I do agree, but at the same time I can see her hard work and I can appreciate it when I see it, and she has worked very, very hard to get to where she's at. You guys might remember, if you guys are even into pop culture, but anyway, Nicki Minaj was talking, I think it was like Queen Radio or tweeting. I saw a clip of her anyway where she was just saying a lot of these rappers, I think she was talking about Megan Thee Stallion, and she was just saying a lot of these rappers, you know, they can't rap, or they're like they are TikTok rappers, you know, making music for TikTok. With TikTok, it's just a trend. The sound is great for now, but you forget about the sound, the dance, you forget about it in 2 years' time. I think Nicki Minaj wants musicians to make timeless music that's never not played, never forgotten about, because she likes to say that she did things the right way. When she was rapping and consistently making music, she didn't have the help of TikTok. She didn't have the help of social media platforms pushing her music, how things are done today. So what she's saying is she wants people to appreciate the hard work that she put in without social media and the buzz around it is that rappers essentially have today. So the work ethic of Virgo moons is through the roof. These people work very, very hard, and when it sits in the moon here, they just want to be credited for their commitment to the work ethic. Tell me I have done a really good job because I have. And it's not like Leo where it's like, you know, make me feel validated. You know, I'm giving you all of my creativity. Tell me I'm great. Tell me I'm great. No, it's not like that for Virgo moons. It's I put in the hard work to get this project out there. All you got to do is just appreciate the hard work that I've done. So just, even if it's just saying, because the thing is, right, Virgo energy appreciates acts of service. Everyone has a love language. And when it comes to Virgos, they are going to show that they love by their actions. So you will know if a Virgo loves their job based on how they are responding at work. In reference to the Virgo moons that are very unproductive, these people are the Virgo moons that can feel very unhappy. And it's very easy to get into this space, especially right now, because Neptune is transiting through Pisces. So if you have a Virgo moon and it's in the late degree of Virgo, so that's, I think Pisces, I think Neptune right now is at 23 degrees, I think, of Pisces. So if you have, you know, your moon at around that degree, within even 10 degrees, around that 23 degrees, you might have experienced a sense of numbness or confusion. I'm not really sure what's making me feel how I feel, emotionally confused. A lot of people experience depression. And the thing is with like the Virgo moon is you guys need that productivity feeling. So it's like when you have a baby, you become a new mum and you can't work the same and you can't go to the office, you can't have that space to be productive, especially being a mum. It can make you feel really deep in your depression, and it can make you feel like I'm not doing anything with my life, I'm depressed. And that feeling needs to be worked on, because you can be productive even when you're not at work. At home, have you done your laundry? Have you done your ironing? Have you done any decorating at home? Have you created a routine for you and the baby? Like, there's so much different ways to be productive. Virgo moon has to understand that it's okay to find productivity in other ways if it's not just in work. It's got to be outside of work as well. And it's mad because these people are so used to helping everybody else in their emotional issues and their emotional disarray that they're not very good at asking for help. And this is a learnt behavior from them as well, because obviously they grew up having to help their mum with everything, that they don't really know how to ask the people who are closest to them for help. When you have Virgo moon people around, it's important that you ask them, is there anything that I can do? Even if they say no, if you know that's something that you can do, just do it anyway. They're gonna say no, but just do it anyway. Do things that's going to make them feel good, that someone else cares about them the same way that they care about you, by just actioning stuff. I would just say an act of service. If you know that a Virgo is tired of cooking meals or whatever, you go out and you get them a takeaway, get them a meal, you cook them a meal, whatever it could be. The act of service without them having to ask, especially when it comes to dating. And even if they are someone who is very active in how they express their love, you have to make sure that you tell them, I appreciate you. I really appreciate this. I appreciate what you do for me. When a Virgo moon does something for me, a Virgo energy does something for me, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Even when I'm giving them a gift, I'm like, here, because my love language is gift giving. And I'll give a gift and I'm like, here you go, I got this for you because you were so good to me last week. You did this for me, you did that. Like, that's kind of what I do. If someone does something nice for me, I will buy a gift. I will give them something, because that's how I express love. But you always give back to them, but you tell them, I know what you did for me and I see that, and that makes them feel really good. Listen, I'm giving you guys free game here, okay? Now, when these people go through periods of depression, we've got to also look at addiction. Now, although when I think about addiction, I think about Pisces. Yeah, I do. And Pisces does oppose Virgo. I mean, Pisces addiction to me is like there's a need to escape and there's a guilt in their emotions, you know, things like that. But in reference to the Virgo energy, Virgo moon people can experience addiction in reference to over analyzing their emotions. When you get like a gut feeling and you suddenly get the bubble guts, you got IBS, you got anxiety. And a lot of Virgo moons tend to be very sensitive to things or allergic to a lot of things, and that's because the gut isn't quite settled. Addictions can come into play when Virgo moons can feel a little bit foreign towards emotions or even towards their body. Almost like, what's that feeling I have? I've got to take something to suppress that feeling. You know, I've got to take this medication, otherwise I'm going to get anxiety if I don't. And there's almost like a need to include medication in your everyday routines. And it's almost like out of fear of losing control of the body, if that makes sense. So it can develop into an addiction. I'm addicted to being in control of my body, so I take this medication or that. to help me sleep, or this for my IBS. There's always like something that the Virgo wants to take that can very easily turn into an addiction. Virgo links us to anxiety. So a lot of you guys are going to be dealing with irritable bowel syndrome and feeling very restless. Think of the moon as your emotions, yeah? And also the environment that you want to feel safe in. This is a Mercury moon. So Mercury is always moving. So there's always that feeling of, I don't feel like I can just sit back and just chill, relax. I've got to be up doing something all the time. Even watching this video, you know, you might be listening to music in the background. You know, you might be cooking, you might be driving. It's organized. It may look chaotic on the outside, but it's organized. But there is always something that you need to kind of be touching or doing when you have the Virgo element in your chart. So yeah, Virgo can be attached to pharmaceutical drugs, or there can also be herbs that you guys are like, if I don't have this herb, I might get a headache today, or I might get IBS today. The anxiousness of not taking this herb or taking this drug can link to addiction issues. And also with the whole thing with unproductivity, if you're diving too much into drugs, into alcohol, into those things that aren't productive at all, that can make you feel unproductive. And that can lead to things like depression. Especially with Virgo, you've got to understand what things you are intaking into your system. That also means social media. What's the first thing you do when you wake up? Do you check your Instagram? Are you on the phone? Are you texting? Are you emailing? You know, it's very important, and this is where I always say you must look at the opposite sign of Pisces, because Pisces will understand that it's okay to let go. It's okay to escape from those things that don't really matter. In reference to unhealthy habits, Virgo needs to look to see how often they are using their phone. So with iPhone, you can get like a weekly update to find out how many hours you spend on your phone. That's really good to help you see, okay, maybe I'm using it far too much. Maybe I will turn it off a bit earlier. Maybe I'll turn my notifications off. My notifications are off, and let me say it reduced me touching my phone so much because I'm not quick to see who's writing to me, who's emailed, who's messaged, whatever. And I like it that way because I'm on there a lot less. And that really helps to manage your mental health as well. So remember, Virgo is health. It's not just mental health, but it's also physical health. And you guys need to make sure you are physically active and to maintain all-round general health. So make sure everything you are doing on a day-to-day basis, ask yourself, is this healthy? Is it healthy to feel anxious about my day? Hell no. So what can you do to feel less anxious about your day? Like I said before, you have to look to understand yourself by looking at Pisces, which is the opposite sign. And Pisces sees the beauty in everything. It sees the beauty in the imperfections, whereas Virgo sees the beauty in the things that it deems as being perfect. Now you guys can still have that's perfect, I find it beautiful trait about you. However, learn to just let go. If something isn't perfect, if something isn't how you'd like it to be, it's okay. It is what it is, because you can develop anxiety and irritability and frustration if you are constantly trying to pick, nitpick, criticize, and try and get things to be as perfect as you want them to be. And this is in reference to your working environment. This is in reference to your relationships as well. Just literally the energy in general. When it comes to these people in like romantic relationships, they're gonna really struggle with saying nice things, being very vulnerable, very sweet, gentle with you. Well, let's be real, I feel like Virgo is very gentle. And I don't know if that could just be me because I'm a Capricorn moon and I've always loved Virgo energy. These people, you're not going to get the type to show you physical language, physical attention, I forgot what it is, but you're likely to get the acts of service. So you will know if a Virgo is into you, they are going to do things for you because they like you. And that's also how you need to kind of express it back, is by doing things for them. And you know what, when it comes to love languages, and this is for anybody in general, if you want someone to like you, learn someone's love language and do that thing for them. Do their love language for them, and they should also do yours for you, because this is how you show love. Now also, these are the these people overanalyze their emotions a lot, and they have to kind of learn to create that sense of peace with their emotions. And it's okay to think about how you feel, but they, over time, and the older that they get, the more evolved they become with processing their emotions. And this for some people can be ongoing, like having to learn how to deal with their emotions, but Virgos are processing how they feel. It's really important that you guys are not over analyzing your emotions, but allowing yourself to feel. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to vent, vent. But make sure that you have really good people around you that you can do that with, and it doesn't feel like you're burdening people with how you feel. And also, let's not forget, the moon links us to our intuition, you know, like that gut feeling. And if you always have that nervous feeling of, I don't trust my own emotions or my own gut instinct, which then creates the anxiety or the need to analyze and criticize my own emotions, this contributes to the disconnect to yourself. I don't want you guys to be stuck in this analyzing space where you are constantly overthinking how you feel, as opposed to just going through the feels. Like, every sign deals with their emotions very differently, but when it comes to Virgo, oh, should I feel this way? Am I wrong for feeling that way? Even though, right, you guys are practical, you guys are very good at a lot of things, you just don't believe it in yourself. You don't believe it in yourself, and you have to learn a little bit from the Pisces to just chill out. Also embrace that Leo energy by knowing that, you know what, I'm dope, I'm amazing, I'm very good at what I do, I can't lie. And that's not a bad thing, to just give yourself the credit where it's due. When you are in deep thought about how you feel, allow yourself to just feel for a moment. Go and have a cry. Who cares? Talk to your friend about why you're upset. Don't overthink your emotions. Just allow yourself to feel. And because of a lot of the overanalyzing, the criticism, please bear in mind that you do not have to project. And this is especially those that have Sagittarius. With the Virgo, there are a lot of you guys out there, okay? You don't have to project your beliefs, your method of thinking onto how others handle their lives. You don't have to do it. I made this video years ago and I gave an example. Now, remember I said that I went to a friend's birthday and she invited a Virgo and a Leo friend as well. So we went out for drinks, and in the UK you're allowed to have a certain amount of drinks and you can drive. It's legal to drive. Now, although I drank, I didn't have a lot of drinks and I only parked. I was literally like, I think 0.3 miles away from my house. I wasn't far. I didn't exceed the limit. Let's just put it that way. So her friend was like, oh my God, her Virgo friend was like, oh my God, no, honey, you can't drive. You can't drive. You've been drinking. It's against the law. And I'm just looking at her like, is this bitch for real? Like, what are you doing right now? Like, I can't leave my car here. I can't have anyone else pick it up. But on top of that, I'm not drunk. I'm not past the limit either, the legal limit. But this is the thing, because of the criticism, the rejection, the insecurities that Virgo energy represents, it can very much project that energy. Just make sure that you're not overdoing it. Just, you know, be more tactful, learn tact. If she had been like, oh, you know, did you drive? Are you driving? Okay, fine. You're not worried about, like, you know, because you had a drink, you're not worried about that. Like, instead of saying, oh my gosh, don't do it, honey, don't do it, I'm like, bitch, I'm below the limit anyway, chill. But yeah, that's my point. Like, try to be more tactful in how you are expressing yourself with people, because it can come across as you are just projecting, and no one likes a projector like that. I've been seeing something over the last, I think, year or so, with people tweeting like emotional support animals, and I didn't know this was a thing. But you see, like, Virgo represents or links us to very small animals. You guys need to have like little dogs, you know, little cats. I'm a cat person personally, but I do like dogs as well. But you kind of want to have a small animal that's there to offer you emotional support, And to be fair, that can be quite heavy on an animal, right? Animals love unconditionally, you know, so you shouldn't feel guilty, but I need you guys to invest in one of those animals to kind of help you feel more comfortable in your emotions. So people, that is my video on Virgo moons. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, but I will see you guys on the next one, people. Take care.